Devin Anderson, and thank you for joining this special coverage of the 2022 midterm elections. Topping our news at this hour, we have team coverage of WHUC News 7 reporters at several voting precincts all over Hinds County and Copiah County. We're going to begin here in the town of Utica, where reporters Ezekiel Harris and Maya McFadden are covering the election. Ezekiel, tell me how the atmosphere is there.
Well, Devin, I'm here at Precinct 1 in Utica, Mississippi, where voters are slowly coming in, but hopefully the pace picks up. It's that time of year again, voting time, and people came out and expressed their right to vote. I spoke with Elizabeth Caraway, and she tells me what she wants the newly elected officials to fix in the office.
My main concern is the inflation and just all the spending that we're doing, and that of course is on a national level. And I want them to do their best for the whole country and the state and the county.
Tawanja Martin states encouraging words to the voters.
I just want to tell everybody to get out and vote. It does matter.
Brenda Mullet gives her opinion on people who do not vote.
For the people who are eligible to vote and do not vote, I'd say you have no voice. You have no voice in what happens, how our country moves forward. My thing is, don't complain if you don't vote.
Voters are coming in slowly but surely. But let's take it over to my colleague, Maya McFadden, who is here also in Utica in Precinct 2. Maya, how's the crowd over there?
I'm at the second precinct early this morning, where voters are steadily coming in. Although it was slow, the people were eager to fulfill their civic duties. Take poll worker Lola Griffin, who spoke about the importance of voting.
My forefathers worked so hard to vote. I remember my grandmother telling me when I was young how she went to vote and got rotten eggs thrown on her. This is our civic duty. This is our responsibilities.
Utica Alderman Calvin Williams talked about why he personally voted.
I vote because so many people lost their life and fought for their right for young folks like myself and some of the other generations to have a right to vote. That's the reason I vote.
Well, Devin, we're in for an important election. Back to you.
Thank you for your coverage and the coverage in Utica, Ezekiel and Maya. Now we're going to go over to Copiah County to Hazelhurst, where WHUC reporter Devin Bonnardale is there.
That's right, Devin. We're here at the Hazelhurst West Precinct, located at the Copiah County Chancery Complex, where it seems to be a slow start this morning. Let's see what's going on. Citizens of Hazelhurst began showing up bright and early this morning. However, things still remain slow with no real wait for any voters. We spoke to Daphne Foster Hill about why she chose to vote in this election.
I vote because I believe it's every citizen's responsibility to go out and vote and let their voice be heard. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
We also spoke to Kimberly Davis, another resident, about what she expects from a candidate.
To do right, and I want them to reach out to each and every one, especially young people.
Well, Devin, as you can see, those things started out a little slow this morning. The citizens of Hazelhurst are still ensuring that their voice is heard. Devin Varner, reporting for WHUC News 7.
Right now, live joining us in Hinds County, Circuit Clerk Zach Wallace. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so my first question is, do you have any word of the voter participation here today?
At this time, I haven't received any words how the participations, but I know as of absentee voting, we had over 2,800 ballots to come into my office. So right now, that sounds pretty good for numbers coming in. So people are casting their ballots, and they are letting their voice be heard.
That sounds great. Also, have you received any word of any issues anyone has ran into in any of the precincts so far?
Well, right now, I heard a couple, I won't say major problems. I had some people come down here and say that their name wasn't on the poll books, but once they got verification that they was an active voter in our system, I asked them to go back down to the precinct, and they had no problem casting their votes. So that's minor issues, but so right now everything's going well as of right now.
All right, finally, for any of the late voters getting off work around 5 o'clock, can you kind of share any information you have for them as they're standing in line, possibly close to the deadline?
Yes, well, if they get out work at 5, they're able to go home and make sure the children are taken care of or the household taken care of. with the polls being closing at 7 o'clock, if they are in line at 7 o'clock or before 7 o'clock, they will have a chance to cast their vote. So no problems at all. I think 2 hours with people getting off work at 5, it's been enough time for them to go and cast their vote. It's only take a couple of minutes to cast your vote. So hopefully the poll workers can get them in and out as quick as possible.
Again, I appreciate your time and thank you for joining us today. Now we're going to transition to reporter Jacobus Roby, who is covering multiple precincts in Raymond. Jacobus, fill me in on what's happening in your area.
Thank you, Devin. I'm currently outside of Precinct R1 in Raymond, Mississippi. That's Raymond United Methodist Church, where folks are coming out to have their voices heard. It's time again for those in the community to come out and fulfill their civic duty. Hinds County resident Jeff Johns shares what brings him out to vote today.
The economy, our president, direction our country's going in, a lot of things. We need to change our Congress and our House representatives so we can get a check on our government.
Over at Precinct 2, Raymond resident Daniel Gilmore shares how he hopes the election plans out.
So I think I'd rather stick with the course, with the individuals that's now, because I think the country's headed in the right direction. It might take a little time for things to turn around, but they will turn around.
He also shares a message to those who don't believe that their vote matters.
Your vote matters. It could be your vote that decides this election.
And as you can see, Devin, even though the turnout might be slow, people are still coming out to have their voices heard and their opinions listened to. Jacobus Roby, WHUC, News 7.
Well, that is Raymond, Hazelhurst, and Utica covered. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue covering the rest of Hinds County. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 decades, you have trusted us to be the #1 college news source that cares for you from the beginning to the end. So now, we're proud to say that we've won the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters Awards. And we will continue to try to keep you knowledgeable and focused on stories that are happening around you. We are Hinds' very own WHUC News 7, named #1 by the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters.
Welcome back to this coverage of the 2022 midterm election. In case you missed it, we have covered Hazelhurst, Raymond, and Utica, Mississippi. And now we move on to Tracy Gray, who's in Byron, Mississippi. Tracy, how's it going down in your area?
Yes, Devin, as you can see, I'm in Byron, Mississippi at Precinct 3. Now, as of right now, there's a slow start, but with the few that have made it in, their voices are still being heard.
Residents from the Byron area came out to the Trinity Wesleyan Church to cast their votes on the next elected candidate. I had a chance to speak with a Byron resident who voted, and she tells me what voting means to her.
It means a whole lot to me to vote. I'm 43 years old. I have never missed a voting session. Every time there's even the smaller to the larger voting sessions, I'm here to vote, to exercise my right, because I think about my ancestors, I think about my grandmother, I think about all those who could not vote at one time. So why shouldn't I not exercise my right to vote? It's my only voice. Voting, placing the ballot is my voice, so I exercise that.
Well, Devin, as you can see, exercising your right to vote is very important. Tracy Gray reporting for WHUC News 7. Back to you.
The main thing that's on everyone's ballot in America is the district congressman or congresswoman. For those who may not know, a congressman or a congresswoman is a person elected to represent his or her district for a 2-year term. Congressmen and congresswomen make up the House of Representatives with 435 members. The House of Representatives is where bills are proposed and voted into law. Mississippi has 4 congressmen. For Hinds County, we vote for District 2 congressmen. The people who are running for this current position is Benny Thompson, who is the current congressman, and Brian Flowers. We're going to take it over to Tiara Jackson, who's in Terry. Tiara, how is it at your hometown?
Devin, I'm currently here at Terry Precinct 1, where voters are coming in hot to vote for this midterm election. In the tiny town of Terry, voters came out and went to the polls. Early on in the day, it was kind of slow, but as time went on, the citizens of Terry were filling up the parking lot. Voter Lee Morris says why he came out to vote.
It's a pleasure to be able to come out here and vote. We got many people gave their lives just for us to get this opportunity. And if we refuse to come and vote, it's our own fault when we get a candidate we're not pleased with and this kind of stuff, and start, hollering about he's not this and he's not that. But if you had came and vote, your one ballot might have made a difference.
When Precinct Manager Marilyn Purvis was asked about the voter turnout compared to last year's election, she had this to say.
Yes, we've had more turnout today than we did for the primary.
Okay. Although the lines are long, voters are coming out to put their votes in. Tiara Jackson, reporter for WHUC News 7. Back to you, Devin.
Next, we have Harmony Porter bring us coverage in Clinton.
Thank you, Devin. I am at Precinct C2 at Wildwood Baptist Church in Clinton, Mississippi, here to catch some citizens voting for their electors. There were lots of people ready to choose their candidates. We spoke with the poll manager, George Ewing, on the amount of people coming into this location.
We expect a normal turnout for this election. It was low in the primaries. So right now we have 1,500 ballots, which is what's required by state law. It's supposed to have 75% of the total number of registered voters in a precinct.
He also states that people old and young, able and disabled, and people near and far have come to cast their votes. As more people gathered, we stopped with a couple and asked them about their opinions on voting and why it's important for the youth to vote as well when they come of age.
Probably one of the most important things you do. You can vote for whoever you want to, just vote. Tell them you care.
Advice for them? Yeah, take it seriously. You need to get out and vote. You absolutely do. It's not just a privilege, it's also your duty.
As you can see, it's very important to exercise your right to vote and to make an effort to do so. Harmony Porter reporting for WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Harmony. We're going to take it to Tamora Heyman, who is in the capital city, Jackson, Mississippi, right after this short break.
If you can't trust any other college news source, trust WHUC. They are the team you can trust with the latest Heinz news. From the state fair,
numerous antique vehicles,
the annual homecoming specials,
Very interesting and refreshing.
and more. While others chit-chat, we bring you the latest to what's happening across and around the Hines County area.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us on WHUC
Trust Hines' very
News
own
7 News.
WHUC News 7.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining this special election coverage of 2022 midterm elections. Now we're going to take it over to Tamora Heyman, who's in the capital city, Jackson, Mississippi. Tamora, can you tell me what's going on in your precinct?
Yes, Devin. I'm here in Richland, Mississippi, where people are coming to vote. Voting started a little bit slow this morning, but things are picking up as people are going inside to vote for this upcoming election. There was a pretty good turnout for voting this afternoon at the Richland North and South Precinct. We spoke to Siobhan Fletcher about voting importance.
I do believe that voting is very important to all, and sometimes the choices that people that are in office are not very good and safe choices that includes everyone. So I decided to vote to make that difference.
Ms. Sandra Montgomery also shared her point of view of voting.
Because we have a free country, and if we want to leave it that way, we need to vote and let everybody's voice be heard.
I cast my vote. How about you? I'm here to let you know how important voting is. Tamora Heyman, WHUC News 7.
Thank you, Tamora. Now we're going to go on to our last location, where it's Xavion Green in Crystal Springs. Xavion, what's going on in Crystal Springs?
Yes, that's right, Devin. Currently, I am at Crystal Springs Precinct 5, where there has been a steady flow of voters.
We talked to Mayor Sally Garland and asked her why is it important for people to come out and vote.
Well, there have been, over the years, many people have lost their lives over this right to vote, and the right to have a say-so in your government. So it is important to come out and do this. Every single person that is 18 or older has the right to come out and do it, so just come do this.
This is what Ms. Jacqueline Floyd had to say about voting.
It is important because without people voting, then we are nowhere, you know. People are the one who represent us, you know, those who are in in charge. They're the one who represent us. And like I said, without them, then where would we be? You know, that's just common sense. You know, it's just good to come out and vote.
We talked to Miss Maddie Fuse-Green and asked her what is she hoping the outcome of this election will be.
Maybe a little bit of change. We need to unite this country. We're one country, not two.
This is what Miss Rebecca Grisha had to say.
It's important for people to step out and vote because it's our right. At the end of the day, I mean, past generations have fought for us to get to this point, so it's important. That you exercise your right for anything else. Why not vote at the end of the day?
Well, even though there hasn't been a large turnout that most poll workers are accustomed to, citizens in Crystal Springs are still making sure their voices are being heard. Xavier Green in Crystal Springs, Mississippi, WHUC News 7. Back to you guys.
As we close out the show, I want to urge everyone to go out and vote and be a part of making your community better. This concludes the 2022 midterm election covered by the WHUC News 17. Remember to like and share this video on YouTube and Facebook. Also subscribe to continue to see weekly content like this. Thank you for watching.